Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we are here to watch some Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. So, what do you remember happened last time?
Let's see. Last time was Sovereign of Mars. So, of course, at the very end of the episode was when his name starts with a G, doesn't it? Sorry, I know it's been a season plus now, but suddenly Blondie, his name has escaped me.
It escapes me too at this very second, but if I recall right, they gave him like a bunch of coordinates to dig up some old Gundams.
Well, I was pointing more towards the agreement they made to possibly put Orca in charge of Mars.
Oh, right, yeah, they had like, hey, how'd you like to be king or something.
Well, that's why the episode's titled Sovereign of Mars. That's why I was leaning on it as like the very first thing to bring up, because it'd be the easiest thing to remember.
Right, checks out. I think they mostly just kind of finished with no, they finished the fighting the episode before that. So the
What's his
episode,
name
yeah,
retired.
yeah. The kid retired because he was kind of tired of everything, and now he's just happily on Earth, which good. Apparently has a job, so that's cool.
Well, I mean, he also has to put his little sister through school.
hmm Yeah, preschool's very expensive.
Well, I mean, she was the one in season one that we were shown to be exceptionally smart.
hmm
Because remember, he had that conversation with Biscuit when Biscuit was talking about. Sorry, I was thinking the name Gravy, and that was wrong too. There are food items.
uh,
Cookie
dang,
and cracker.
cookie and cracker. Yes, that is exactly it.
Took me a second on Biscuit and Gravy. Just, I guess I should preface this episode if
No,
I
that was the
go.
older brother.
I should preface this episode if I go a little bit loopy. I'm coming off fasting and 30 hours of no sleep, so if I'm off compared to what I'm normally at in these reactions. Yeah, so there was a conversation between him and Biscuit comparing or talking about letters from home back when they were traveling between Mars and Earth, about Cookie and Cracker, what they were up to, and his sister, and about how apparently exceptionally smart she was in school.
Right. So he had some build up and now he had some payoff after like all the trauma. So that was still a good arc. I still kind of enjoyed that. Um I think we kind of hit on the most critical points, which is that Tekkadan and Orca specifically are set up to become sovereign of Mars. They've been given a lot of cool tech, and I think this is probably going to go into action now.
I mean, I don't know that my new favorite guy has actually done anything actionable yet. We've just been seeing a lot of conversation between you know who from last season who's not dead
Mhm.
and what's his name's subordinate who've been interacting with another talking about training and what it means to be honorable and taking smart actions. And otherwise, all we
Mhm.
have has been getting hints about who's in charge of Mars orbit and, you know, the Earth expedition. The Earth. God, what the hell is it called?
Earth expeditionary
It's
expeditionary
not expeditionary. It's why I stopped at that word. The Earth something something defense
defense
fleet,
force.
joint
Yeah.
defense fleet. The Earth blank joint defense fleet. I believe there's two words there that I'm just not remembering.
I think they'll probably say it out loud in 5 sentences in a row and waste a whole
The
minute just saying the name.
the Earth outer orbit joint defense fleet. I believe is what it's called.
There we go. Now we got
I
it.
believe I took like a moment during one of these reactions to try and shorten it down to just its acronym, but realizing that that didn't acronym very well.
I'll just call it Jorb.
Even though it doesn't start with a J.
Exactly.
Earth outer orbit. So we have like an orb defense fleet. Like I said,
Joint orbital.
it just failed at the end. Orb.
So we're gonna be seeing more of Jorb, and I guess whoever is actually in charge of Jorb now.
Well, you remember it's like a council of all the 7-star admirals. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, I guess I would call them admirals.
Well, they're like the elite, and they come from noble families and such.
Hmm.
Well, some of them. Well, the guy who survived last season, I don't know if he's technically a noble or he was just adopted to a noble family.
Hmm.
No, technically that was Blondie, whose name I can't remember, starts with a G.
Yeah, he was adopted.
Right, right.
Had a whole big scene about that last time, actually, if I recall.
Well, it's why it's important for him to marry Survivor's daughter. Not daughter, sorry, Survivor's sister, who happens to be a child.
Marry into nobility, secure his ranks, etc. Yeah.
Right, so he's a blooded noble at that point instead of. I don't know, do you consider it a blooded noble when you marry into nobility?
Given that the nobility is pretty picky, they probably will still hate him anyway.
I just don't think it works that way. I don't think you're a blooded noble if you marry into nobility. I think that you're like. John, I'm reaching back now. I think you're just like consort status.
I guess it really depends on how much you force everyone else to agree to it.
So I've also been listening to a lot, like on repeat, the musical Six, which is
Hmm.
about King Henry's the Eighth's ex-wives. So
Hmm.
that's more leaning back on Tudor nobility, Tudor
Yeah,
royalty.
yeah. So I think this whole episode we can go ahead and make a lot of comparisons to post-Renaissance Europe and the Tudor family and Austria
And the Church of England.
and the Church of England. Yeah, this is classic Protestant versus Catholic warfare,
And what it means to catfish in the,
right?
17th century? I can't remember.
There we go.
Well, you
So
gotta remember Anne of Greaves got married based on a portrait which wasn't representative of her. So I don't know if that's the first I don't know if that's the first catfish in history or not, but
no, the Tinder profile is using it all the pictures. All right. So before we get too crazy with it, let's just go ahead and watch the episode.
All right. As soon as we drop these guys off, I'll come right back to pick you up.
No need. Atra's coming by later.
But I was...
Don't you have some
I love
training
the out of
garage?
focus in the distance,
Yes, sir.
single expression, Mikazuki, for the first couple frames.
save it on budget.
There's nothing I can do over there yet.
Honestly, I wish I could keep you here forever.
List is getting longer of names we don't care about.
Even more.
That's good news, because I have a mission for
It's like when you intentionally fuck up in Mass Effect 3 just to get the board all filled up with names.
We thought allowing them to have defense forces would bring them down, but now it's up to us.
Now
They're
it's up to
somewhere
us.
funneling money and arms to the activists.
We trained them wrong,
And as long
as a
as they
joke.
Doesn't matter who's behind the scenes. There are armed parties out there disturbing the peace. Tell me, what other reason does Gallarhorn need to bear down its might upon them?
You're certainly chatty today.
I suppose I'm just...
They're armed, that's enough to murder them.
My friend and I finally get to fight together.
That's it. Nice and easy.
Have they decided who's gonna pilot these?
Of the 3 suits that came back, Chad's supposed to be the
I
pilot.
bet it's children.
I don't know about
Children of a parentless variety.
Let me
Chad gets a Gundam.
It's a man roadie we snagged from the Brewers, that group you were working for. Wouldn't it bring up bad memories?
For those of us called human debris, these were pretty much our coffins. But if Aston piloted one of them, so can I.
Akihiro figured you'd say that, so he's already made the arrangements.
Mr. Dante.
I'll be piloting the other one. What do you say?
Ah
we
yes,
show what form
Dante.
of human
A
debris
character
are
we
made
all
of?
are very familiar with.
Yeah.
And certainly haven't just named so that his inevitable death will come.
I think it's fun. Then you're a weirdo. I've headed up
Like, we've had this guy with the haircut, like, have more scenes than Dante, right?
Get back to work,
Yep.
would ya? Have you finished tuning up those sheet-ins that came in the other day? Yeah, finishing up as we speak. Good. We'll be getting more from Tewas tomorrow. Huh? We're getting more? That's right. So we've got no time to sit around. Right. Yes, sir.
Hey, Deputy Boss! Got some news for you. The guys are back from the farm. So this is the King's Throne I've heard so much about.
Yeah.
Well, no turning back now.
I feel like this is the first time we've heard about it, though.
Maybe, yeah.
Babbling to myself.
I'm pretty sure I would remember something about a thing called the King's Throne.
We can do is wait for now.
Well, in the meantime, let's make sure to whip these grunts.
It's a
into
pretty
proper
badass
fighting
name
shape.
for a Gundam.
No, they're just referring to the King of Mars, who's been there the entire time. You know, you just didn't see him the whole first season.
Fast for something so big. I'm just getting started.
Chad sure is pretty amped up.
He had a pretty rough time of it back on Earth, though the same could be said for that rookie. He went
Again,
straight into training the moment they
5
arrived
inches
back
from
in
an
town.
explosive
But it
that
looks like they
decimated
did
an
not
entire
miss.
building.
But
Not a
Is that
scratch.
Is that a Tewa's uniform?
Once that happens,
It's got like a
Mission
big
Hero
red
will be
T on it. It looks like a flight suit or
You've seen a
something.
bunch of them. That's like what they were on the bridge of the Tewa ship.
I guess it's really just been a whole season since I've seen it.
Well, that and they've all like customized each one of them. That's why the 2 of them look different.
Right. Enough to win. Though I can understand.
But that other girl has always worn that same suit. I think the one that you're seeing is typically in like a pink outfit instead of the white one.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you heard from Yamagi?
Yes, they arrived at the
Yamagi,
site
light
a while ago.
Yamagi. Oh, he's carrying around that notebook all the
I
time.
wanted to ask you more about the mobile suit we found at the mine. It's another Gundam frame, isn't it?
Yes, Yamagi with his
That makes 3.
catchphrase.
Kabuto's
And your name is?
Mobile suits aimed at the demons keep finding their way to Tekkadan. I have a bad feeling about this.
There you go, overthinking things.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, that's what women like, right? Headbats.
They're actually already a couple. They just haven't mentioned it to anyone else.
Been a while.
I thought her and Orca were supposed to be a couple.
They seem to be doing fine. Though we don't
She clearly changed her mind.
Off screen.
We tried everything
Well, between episodes.
but we just couldn't get
I wouldn't blame her for changing her mind
The
either.
frame of a mobile suit wouldn't degrade in a mere 300 years. The reactors last even a bit longer. The reason you couldn't get it to work was because the reactor was in.
So, no dental plan is what I'm getting.
They had to plug in a mouse and jiggle it to wake up the Gundam.
That mobile worker-like thing you sent up along with this? There wasn't anything in the Tewas database that matched it.
Oh, is that so?
Chief, we are now connected to the reactor's controls. Booting up.
And here we go.
Oh, it's asking to install updates. What do we do?
I've got
Oh,
the
it's Windows
frequency
11.
Ahab wave. And its name appears to be
Gundam Flauros.
So he's signing.
Wait, was that what's his name's Gundam?
Mars to them.
Was
This
it?
is another
I
huge
think so.
deal.
I didn't see the legs, so that would really
Apparently,
denote if it
Gillis
wasn't.
Farid in Tekkadan made this secret agreement while on
Gillis. McGillis. That was the G name.
Hey, there you go.
The last thing we want to do is get tangled up in their internal affairs.
And not to mention, until recently, we hadn't even heard of this McGillis
Hold
character.
it. Come on, gentlemen, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We all know that we have far more pressing matters to discuss, such as saving face. Hate to break it to you.
What a real butt chin this guy has.
More than a charity case, old man. Those kids have the audacity to negotiate a deal with Gallarhorn and accept it without consulting us. Listen well, Naze. There's a procedure to these kinds of things. Are you just gonna keep ignoring protocol for these little punks and allow them to embarrass the old man? Well,
that's not.
Chastely makes a valid
I think we
point,
ran out of
Naze.
blink budget again.
I don't like trouble dropping in my lap, especially when it's a
Your eyes are
problem
either
I
open
previously
or they're
consulted
closed.
about. But
Ah, there it is.
In a blink, you just opened them.
arrangement lets us take a cut of all business done on Mars. It'll be
A blink is a full close and then opening in action.
You've my word. Should the affair with Tekkadan cause you even the slightest bit of grief, you can cut them off without any resistance. That's how committed Orga is.
All we can afford is here to here.
Should that happen, I will pay with my life.
Don't worry, old man.
Interesting that he's still here, like,
in my own way.
vouching for Tekuden at this point, and basically doing the internal politics for them, with the group they're supposed to be a part of.
Because he's an adult. See, it wasn't a full blank. Because he's an adult, and they've labeled themselves brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that you had a good day.
It's rare for you to start a
Also,
conversation.
obviously, best girl.
What, did you get tired of that loser Naze and want to be my pet now?
Oh, you wish. Don't even joke about that.
What do you
Huh.
See what she's up to.
who uses women and
That's
kids
the
to
second
find
character called Naze
Who only sees
in
women
our
as
reactions
sexually
now.
abused wouldn't understand. I
Just a
assure you
popular
Naze
name
is
this year.
dangerous.
Well, Naze is also the old man
If you
in
ask
Summertime
me, that
Render.
sounds like something a woman would say.
And you sound like a typical man. We turban girls were once used by men like you. We were forced to do dangerous work, and the risk was hardly worth the pay we were getting. We turbans are a group of girls Naze took in out of the goodness of his heart. Though I suppose a man like you wouldn't know about that at all.
You're absolutely right.
Dude's dressed
I'm
like a
not the kind
pimp.
of man that makes his
Very
girl
sure he
fight
doesn't have a
the
good
police.
relationship with women.
There, you see?
Yeah, I can't imagine what his opinions on this could possibly
Sorry to
be.
keep you waiting.
But then they're both wearing fedoras, so...
Waiting for you is just one of my many
Yeah, but one didn't go decked out in gold chains and leopard print coat.
Where's
Sure.
Olga?
He's a couple of feathers and a cane away from being a real stereotype.
Brother. There's certainly never a dull moment with you around.
Please forgive me.
Why are you apologizing? You made that decision.
Orca
for your
is here.
family, didn't you?
That's not the point. I caused trouble for
You've caused trouble for me more times than I can count. Don't start the goody-goody act now.
But you...
Yeah, see, Naze is pulling off like a mafioso
Not
look
all Tewa's is top
versus
Yeah.
the other guy's
as
pimp
others. It's
with the
certain
same type
there's
of
gonna be
hat.
Some kind of move against us. Orga. This is the last time I laugh it off and forgive you. I can't betray the old man.
Right.
Despite the fact that the old man has continuously tried to betray
This will be our
all
first
of you.
opportunity to see what you're capable of. For your sake, I hope that fancy mask of yours isn't just for show.
He can actually play mobile games inside
Which
that
reminds
mask.
me of something you said earlier.
No, it really is for
You
show, as I've
mentioned
said
you had a
before.
friend who fought for
It
pride.
really is giving him a
So what
problem
is it that
seeing.
you fight for then?
That giant middle thing is a blinder.
Revenge.
It's so he only looks forward towards the future.
No, towards the sides, because your vision will be blocked this way. It's like having a blinder on a mule, or, you know, any other workhorse.
Hey, Pops.
Ah, Chad, I see you're feeling better. And from what I hear, you've
He's
upped your
getting a
game since being
Gundam.
on Earth.
Well, it's all thanks to your mate.
Sorry, Rest. It's like the reverse of a blinder on a workhorse.
Come on, none of that. We'll be counting on you hear?
I mean, he's already proven he's like the fucking Terminator. Again, took a building-destroying bomb from 5 inches away and showed back up with no scratches.
For dumping everything on you like this.
He's pretty good.
Is there, so we'll make do somehow. And the children from the orphanage are helping us out too.
It's the accountant from the first episode.
And
Scadelia
almost
has
every
been
other
fine
episode.
here with the kids. It's too bad that she won't be able to anymore.
We'll do everything we possibly can to resume our work on the farm. Hopefully, it'll be soon.
You'll be in my prayers.
I think he just got guilted into adopting kids.
Thanks a lot, Atra. I'm sorry. I know you're busy.
Don't worry about it. You're the busy one dealing with all that paperwork. Just thinking about it makes my head spin.
Mr. Mikazuki, would you like some more food?
Not really, no.
But you...
The two of you have been joined at the hip ever since you made it back from Earth. Did something happen there?
Yeah.
We joined
I've been studying under
UA
Mr.
Academy.
Mikazuki.
And it's really annoying me.
Just pretend I'm not here.
I said I don't...
I know. I'll get some tea.
Oh, the tea's in the back of the
He's
storage
certainly
room.
become a top
He's really giving it his all. He's going plus ultra here.
They have a shared hatred for Deku.
About this dream. Life on the farm. That's your dream, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Then
No.
I mean, that's your dream, then just go work on the farm.
I promise to you to keep your dreams safe and sound.
My god, this is another show.
That's true, Mikazuki.
Like Tamagotchi game that spoils the ending in the intro. Where we see him on a farm.
It's all a lie. They're all gonna die. The intro wasn't true.
Well, I mean, unless the farm is a metaphor for dying.
Yeah, that's certainly.
Mikazuki
is now.
Mikazuki's gonna go on the farm.
A new man since he started dating Miss Meribit. Yeah.
Huh? You're saying that Miss Meribit and Pops are...
Mr. Mikazuki, I brought your tea.
They are a couple.
Wait, who's Pops?
I think that's the engineer.
Well, what happened to the whole romance subplot between her and Orca?
I'm going to guess the adult went, wait a second, this is still teenager, this is a little weird, and went to somewhere else.
Before you start training.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they have that?
Or it was all
posture?
manipulation.
Or maybe she turned when we had that whole thing last season where the little kids went all fucking insane on revenge.
That would make sense.
And rise above Takaki.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure Pops was the only one who was like sensible during that whole thing.
yeah, and she was trying to speak out against it, and like everyone's like, "Fuck you."
Right.
Akihiro, you're never gonna believe this, but Pops and Miss Meribit are dating.
What? You didn't know that?
Oh.
Chad's always last to know.
I hate that our point of view is Chad in this because you just guessed at it. We didn't know.
I really didn't think we needed to.
I'm still one of the guys, right?
How'd the talks on Saisei go?
First abandoned by his friends, and then he'll die in this episode.
I would have loved if the conversation up here would have been the same conversation still.
Full access to the second pier.
So they're
Just
dating?
gossip. The gossip episode.
To fill it up. He must be preparing you for the future.
There he goes overestimating us again.
That's not what he's doing. He has high hopes for you.
Who the hell's this guy?
We'll start with an introduction to Chief.
He's got 7 stars on his uniform. I don't think we've seen him before.
And after that, you'll meet with the representatives
Good
from
question.
The then a meeting with the head of the outer
He's
Secret
clearly just
Development
working with McGillis. He's not like actually in charge.
Right, but we've seen every other 7-star person before. Not him. He's a 7-star.
Maybe just
Can't see it for the shoulder right now, but he is.
Please bear this
maybe
in
just a
mind.
badge.
Everything fails unless you succeed.
Understood.
Reformations are underway. We've now passed the point of no return.
Ironically, the Reformation, huh?
Turn back anyway.
Bringing it right back to Henry VIII.
I apologize for this late request, but is it possible for you to provide additional funding for the Atmos company?
I've been hearing rumors. Tell me, Cordelia Ina Bernstein, is it true that you've managed to secure safe and reliable distribution channels?
Yes.
I was gonna say, why don't they have the video on, but the other guy isn't even pointing it at himself.
More than happy to lend you my support.
Thank you, Mr. Nobles.
He's just too busy.
Please, you're
Look, he has it
the
pointed
Revolution, aren't you?
just over the top of the chess game he's playing.
SAU and Oceanian Federation colonies are seeking freedom. To that end, vigorous independent movements have broken out. Once the combatants catch wind of your exploits, it'll serve to embolden them. When that happens, those in my line of work can provide them with our services. Yes, I can assure you.
That pawn wasn't at the end of the board. That's not how you play chess.
He attacked with his rook from his side of the board that we didn't see. So it was his turn while he was also in a very good position.
If that's true, then that was a very bad position because that one's immediately going to be taken by a pawn, a black pawn.
He's clearly playing against himself here, but he's just doing it to like make himself feel good.
Well, he's sacrificing a white castle to take out a black pawn, which then is going to be taken out by a black pawn. It's not a good move.
No, that would put him in check because the pawn was protecting the king.
No, the enemy king wasn't in line with the castle.
Maybe I read the board wrong.
Yeah, no, the black king was somewhere on the back row and to the left.
Friendly IFF. Is that?
Look, The battlefield you were yearning for.
His machine's name is Vidar, the same as him. Does that mean he's taken his mobile suit's name? And
Please,
cast away his own
please
identity?
let my character from
All
last
for
season
revenge?
be like a fucking AI in the suit now.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, because the way he keeps referring to it.
I've cybernetically merged with my best friend. We're besties forever.
I like the detachable lance. Keep him pinned. At the same time, though, somebody in that station right there is dead.
Oh, positively.
Explosive decompression just... Bulkhead sealed them in, they've run out of oxygen.
Beautiful.
First instance of a gun working. Get over here.
The grappling hook was perhaps the wrong choice of weapon for that engagement. Oh, now we're just death blossoming. Alright, that's the level we're at now.
Witness my good kata.
We finally got there. It took like a season and a half, but we're finally doing it. Just a single wave of fire takes out the entire crowd.
Thank you.
By its very nature, revenge is a dark and repulsive emotion. However, having seen you fight just now, your moves don't seem to be fueled by revenge at all.
Maybe they need a better surrender mechanism rather than getting out of your mech and raising your hands.
Is that so? I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten all about that, and was enjoying fighting in this machine.
You're a strange man, you know that?
Am I?
Just so you're aware, I still don't trust you. Or your motives. But at least I put to bed any
To be fair,
reservations about fighting
it's
alongside
perfectly
you.
fine not to trust the weirdo in the mask.
I mean, historically in Gundam it never pans out. Not unless you're like childhood friends.
The Life of... what was that book?
Brian.
And here's the sing-along portion of the book.
Are you reading that old book again?
Yes. This book saved me. Agnika Kairu's principles.
I was in deep depression, but then I started looking on the bright side of life.
A world where humans could live like humans. He created the organization Gallarhorn. I wasn't born into the Farid family. Do you remember?
Oh, that's right. You were adopted by Master Isnario as a child.
Back then, I was looked down upon for being a child of low birth. No matter where I looked, there was no happiness to be found. I cursed this world.
But then they started calling me the Messiah.
Maki.
But this book prevented me from doing so. Agnika had a dream he wanted to realize. A world where humans could compete fairly, regardless of background. In his world, anything would be possible. Wouldn't that be
I think
wonderful?
you're describing Ein, who's dead now.
Sorry, but I'm not sure I fully
Possibly.
understand.
And for us, it would mean a world free of judgment. We could love each other without anyone objecting to it.
Sorry, I think Chris Hansen's at your door, by the way.
If we lived in that world, do you think people would stop laughing at me and saying I'm a child?
FBI, open up!
People would make fun of you for having a child as a fiancé?
Of course not.
No, they'll arrest you is what they'll do.
I want to go there.
Sure, I'll take you there, Almeria. That I promise.
I mean, like I said before, on our tier list, she is in a close competition for Best Girl.
Next time, on Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, Awakening Calamity. I swear, Shino is always pulling these crazy stunts. Moron.
Ah, this is where everyone dies.
Alright. So, thoughts?
Thoughts? They're definitely setting up the conflict to come. And I'm not sure what to really think about it yet. we know about our heroes. We know like how they're organizing. We know who they're working with. We know what their stakes are, which is all good. I'm not really clear on who exactly they're going to fight up next. Like I know from the previous episodes, McGillis wants to fight like the other 7 stars and stuff, but we haven't seen directly, I think, who they're targeting with this specific action, right? They
No.
haven't stated like this is the operation against X.
No, I mean that's the only thing that has been stated.
Really?
Yeah,
Where
Rustall.
are they going?
Rustall is going to combat them with the forces that he's sending over Mars. He is basically in charge of that region and is acting directly against McGillis this whole time.
Oh, okay. So this is the Mars Fight for Independence episode next.
No, I think this is another setup episode.
It definitely looked like a fight, or well, maybe they're just angling for another one.
No, you don't remember that was happening in this episode too. That guy from Gallarhorn, amongst the I don't know. You might be right actually. He was there training people in this episode, so I saw that scene that you saw and assumed that it was another training bit.
Yeah.
Because Awakening Calamity can be referring to the calamity that occurred, I don't know, 1,000 years ago? I don't remember what the timeline said. That, like destroyed the moon or whatever.
Time to crash another station into it.
And as you said at the beginning when you thought that they were digging up Gundams, it could just be a reference to that. Because we did see something being unburied from the ground, a mobile suit of some sort, so...
Maybe they just have a random super weapon in their pocket and they're about to reveal it.
Well, I mean, all they're doing is revealing more Gundams left and right now. King's Throne, whatever it was. The other one that Chad is supposed to be piloting. Vidar is back.
We gotta get the model kits out the door fast, you know?
Well, I mean, Mobile Suit Gundam was designed to sell kits.
Yeah. I mean, and that's perfectly fine. I want one now, actually.
Well, we just gotta wait for that Overwatch ripoff game to actually get released at some point.
One day, Gundam Evolutions, everybody.
I mean, I haven't heard anything new about it, other than that survey that I linked you that you apparently didn't do.
I'm really bad at doing surveys, and I just kind of never do them.
The whole point of testing is to get feedback, and you're like, I'm just gonna play the game.
My feedback is going to be 60 hours of gameplay in a single day.
Yeah, and tell them nothing about what you experienced.
Leave a Steam review, thumbs up. It was okay. Playtime 500 hours.
I mean, that's what the survey was. Literally asking you how the combat was, what elements of combat were good, what you thought about each mech. Literally, they were fishing for feedback about every element of game design. So
yeah. All right. Well, before we start piloting our own Gundams, I think that's it for this episode. So, I've been Griffin, that's been Theta, and this has been Stoneface Reactions. We'll catch you next time, everybody. See ya. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?